Hello, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Farmer Big Z, and welcome back to episode 45 of my challenge series on Mars the Mission. We are in April of the year 10, and we are steadily pressing along towards the completion of this mission. Before we get into what we are currently up to, planting corn, let's talk about what has happened from the last time you guys saw me to now. So a lot has happened. In a way, not much of interest, but it has been a busy few months. Over the winter, we took care of all our animals, making sure that their food was all topped up at all times, and also taking care of any of the products that they were producing. Whether it be slurry, making that head over to the BGA for the cows and pigs, whether it be sheep and the wool that they were producing, or milk or eggs, whatever it might have been, we were taking care of it. You could see that our bank account has also bounced back up pretty high and pretty quickly. It was actually not the way I wanted to do it, and I could have squeezed out a few more dollars, or several of thousands or tens of thousands more dollars even, out of those productions, but we were once again running into pallet issues, even with our slow chocolate making. So over the winter, we decided to just kind of do a reset, take as many of the pallets of products that we could, and then just sell them. The only thing we did not end up selling was the wool from the sheep dome, and I actually still have that laying around. And then finally, the chocolate from both of our dairies. We sold that earlier this month when the price was at its peak for about $300,000 combined, including the environmental bonus that we get from that. I think it was about 70 or 73, maybe closer to 75,000 liters. It was definitely one full truckload of 60,000 liters, plus another little bit. I wouldn't say it was much more than a third, but it was either way a good payday for us. So that is essentially it. We've been buying pig food, we've been buying fertilizer, making sure that our seeds are topped up with, unfortunately, more wheat in our seed production. What else have we done? We've made sure that our greenhouses stay topped up with water, and making sure that everything that is pretty minor gets done as needed. Now we're in April. And we are seeding corn. I really do hope, maybe optimistically, where's Marty? Maybe he's over that bump somewhere. Yeah, he's down there. Maybe optimistically, I'm hopeful that these 4 fields of corn, 2 small 5-acre box fields, and then another 2 medium-sized cube fields, are able to get us our total needed amount of corn. I do have a general plan of what I want to do if we are still in need of crops. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I will come back and get that later. I have a rough idea of what I still need to collect and which fields I will need to plant down with what crop. But truthfully, that's going to have to wait until we get our final total numbers of harvested wheat and corn off of all these fields later on this year. But yeah, we're going to get straight to it. We're going to get straight to a montage of seeding and planting this corn. Marty is following in suit, and he is rolling the fields behind me. And this month of April should be a pretty quick one. We'll fly over to the next relevant month. Hopefully that is harvesting wheat in whatever month that is. But yeah, we're going to get straight to it. Hopefully we can finish up this challenge in the next few episodes. It has been quite a while already. We are pushing on episode 45, and I am really hoping that things will wrap up without too much rush before we get to episode 50. So, as always, sit back, enjoy, and I will return shortly. Okay, and we are done wrapping up planting and partially rolling on our 4 soon-to-be cornfields. So initially I had started Marty off following behind, and he was making pretty good time on the lower 2 boxes before starting up on the cube. And since I do my cubes and boxes both kind of at the same time, especially these cubes, I started him a little early and have had to do a little bit of dancing around just to make sure that my seed herd doesn't cross his roller. Luckily, it has been pretty perfect, if I do say so myself. I gave him enough room and we are now done. Let's get this folded up. I did have to refuel once and it wasn't too bad. Or reapply seeds to our tank, reload our seed tank. Okay, so let's take a look at our productions. What is going on right now? So our greenhouses are doing well. That's just pretty basic. Pig food still empty. One of the things that is taking up a good amount of my resources is this seed production. Maybe something I would have done a little differently if I could redo things is I would buy seeds instead of making seeds out of wheat. Initially, when I started the challenge, I was more so concerned about money and not realistically concerned about crops, but yeah, maybe something I would have changed a little differently. If you guys haven't seen this before, we now have our bakery almost full. The only thing we're waiting to see fill up is our flour. One thing to note is that I believe the flour in here can hold a lot more than 7,000 liters, so I need to be careful not to overload it too far past 7,000. Our canola oil and oil refinery is empty. I sold that, I think, an episode or 2 ago. And then I guess I should turn one of these back on because this is going to be sending raw methane somewhere else. Raw methane still moving somewhere else. That is empty, which is good. Oh, that's not even on. Okay, let me turn that on. But yeah, so everything else is doing pretty well. Sugar, let me talk about chocolate and sugar. So this, both of these actually dairies are moving along quite well, but they are still a little slow when it comes to how fast they can burn through and consume both milk and sugar. Chocolate is moving and it sells for a good little penny, so I'm okay with that. And hopefully, once again, we get through the next 2 years pretty quickly in terms of how fast we can absorb and use up our milk and sugar. Now, the sugar creating factory, the sugar mill itself, the sugar mill is doing well. Well, in terms of how fast we will consume all the sugar cane and turn that into sugar itself. However, based on how fast the sugar is moving into but not out of both of our dairies, I will probably have to continue to sell the sugar as just a raw product without capitalizing on putting it towards a secondary product like chocolate. But yeah, that is that. Our animals are doing well. Kind of like the seed, putting wheat into our chicken pens has been good on our wallet, but maybe slowing down the finishing of this mission. Our cows are doing good. They're producing slurry. I might as well go around and move some slurry from both of our cow pens and maybe even our pig pens over to the BGA. Now, the pigs are still eating a ton of food over the winter, or at least between the last two episodes, this episode and the previous one. I have filled their food up not twice with a full capacity, but I've topped it off twice. So it is getting to the point where they are using up a lot of products. And once again, it is cutting into how quickly we can finish up this challenge. So I'm going to let Marty finish rolling these two fields. I'm going to take care of some slurry moving from both of our, or all of our animal pens that create slurry over to our good old BGA. And we'll just keep pressing on as always. Okay, so we have done a good bit this month. We mowed, we seeded, we rolled, or Marty rolled, but it got done either way. So our cow pen, I know, is all topped up. Before we call it a month here and move over to our next month of interest, probably harvesting wheat in July, let's take a look to just double check that everything is working and running as it should. Okay, so our greenhouses are good. Pig food is good. TMR was never turned on. Same thing with the farm system drying firm. That's a typo, but either way. Seeds are good. Flour still hasn't been turned on. Cake is still waiting on the flour. Oil refinery is turned off. Lime production. We may want to get some stones, but if we get stones, we get them. If we don't, we'll just buy lime. And then our BGA is working as it should. I'll leave that on because it should flow into it shortly. Our chocolate is chocolating. Yeah, I know that. And our sugar is piling back up pretty quickly, actually. So those are good. Let's double check our animals. Yeah, see, these pigs just crush through food. We topped up our sheep, so those are good. Our cows are good. Maybe we can move some milk out of the cows, but realistically, we'd go ahead and we'd put them into the butter dairy, which I don't want to overfill. So I'll leave it there. And if anything, I might make another trip over to the export to Earth, and I might get rid of some chocolate, or sorry, some sugar and maybe some milk. Let's double check to make sure that we're not missing anything selling in the month of, what month are we? Month of April. So wool is set to sell next month. I'll probably just get that taken care of off camera, or maybe I'll just slide it in as a, hey, this is what we did, little behind the scenes footage. That is it. Yeah, we are doing well. Yeah, we're doing well. Things are coming along. So let's press on. Let's get over to May, and we'll just quickly grab the wool sale that we need from there, and then we'll push on into July, I believe. Yeah, July. Cool. Let's get it done. Okay, so we are actually in May, and as I always do, I always drive down the mountain and I check out things before just going back to sleep, just to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And I'm glad I didn't, because as I drove down, I realized that in the month of May, directly after planting corn into our fields, we are due to address the fields in two ways. First off, we need to get them fertilized, so I'm glad I didn't miss that out. And then the other thing is that we need to weed these fields. So I've actually got Marty already started up on the upper box field over there, and he is starting to weed the fields. I'm gonna try to get, whoa, recovered. I'm gonna try to get these wool pallets sold as quickly as possible, and jump in right behind Marty fertilizing the fields. He should have just rolled, and yeah, just keep as always, keep pressing forward, but not too fast because I might tip this trailer. So let's see, what is first round of wool? Looks pretty good. That's it. For some reason I thought it'd be more than that. Either way, first one done. I think that was roughly 83, maybe 84,000. Let's go get our second trailer, bring it on down. And we also need to pack one more trailer and bring them down once again. So I'm gonna get those done, and you'll see me in a flash. Okay, so here comes the second trailer. I just remembered actually that the first trailer only had 37,000 liters of wool in it. I don't know how I missed the fact that that wasn't full, but no big deal, no big issue. We'll sort that out. It's not like we're not going to sell the pallets of wool that are hanging out in the sheep dome. So there goes another $91,000 towards the account. We have officially crossed over into the 3 million plus group, so doing well, but nothing really changes. Let's keep pressing on. I need to load the third and final trailer of wool, and then once again bring it down over here. Oh, come on. The last and lightest of the trailers. I'm trying to rush a little bit too much, trying to get this done. So here we go. Here goes the last and final trailer of wool. And we have another 62 half-ish. 63, almost and a half. Okay, so our wool is sold. We're now at 3.1 million, just over. So once again, looking good. I really got to try to find something to spend this money towards. If it can help me out, I will buy it. If not, I'll just keep it in the bank. So now Marty finished up the first field as I was taking care of the wool. So we are going to join up with him and get that done. We're going to spray down a lot of fertilizer because if I do remember correctly, corn is a very thirsty, high nitrogen intensive crop. So I'm going to go spray down a ton of fertilizer. And then we're going to push straight into, what month would that be? We're going to push straight into the month of July. We're going to skip through June. There shouldn't be anything to do in June, but as always, I'll double check by swinging in and dropping down into the lower bowl here, checking on all our animals, checking on our productions, maybe the BGA. Where did I leave the sprayer? The sprayer should be where the sprayer always is. Yeah, maybe the BGA might need a little tending to. Maybe not. Yeah, I might just be able to sleep straight through it. Okay, let's hook up and let's go spray. If anything, I will see you all in July, when we'll harvest hopefully the last time for wheat. And that's a big hope, but hang tight, I'll be back. Okay, and we are back in July. And we are just continuing to fly along with this challenge. So first things, let me see if I can get my boom out and get Marty racing over to me so I can unload into him and continue on with my headland pass here. But there is a few things to talk about. So first off, you can see that our money is now up at 3.3, almost a perfect clean 3.3 million. And that is mainly because of all the productions we have going on. I'm at the point now where I can't really afford to hold on to them because it starts to bog down the production process, maybe even spitting out so many pallets that no more can spawn on the map. And then additionally, B, I'm at the point where I'm not too worried about holding on to crop to get the highest possible value out of them. So right now, almost essentially every 2 months, I'm at the point where I am, oh wow, we barely made it to the end. This is a good sign though, because if we can't make it to the end before we get full like we did with oats, that might just mean that we're going to collect a lot more wheat in these 3 and a bit fields. But yeah, so that's the thing. I'm at the point now where I barely can't even go 2 months without something needing to be emptied. If it's not the sugar factory getting all jammed up with so much sugar, it's the beehives, and if it's not the beehives, it's gonna be, what else is out there? There's something else that is just drawing my attention 24/7. Oh, and I just took care of it. What was it? I can't remember what it was, but either way, there's always something to be done. And truthfully, if it's not a pallet producing product, it's something where we have milk. Maybe that's what it was. Milk or slurry, or there's always something. Long story short, and I'm complaining about having too much, which is quite the thing to complain about. You will probably see my money steadily increase without much footage of it, because if I was taking footage of it, these videos would be long because I'm just constantly making, producing, and selling some of these things. I'm trying my best to hold on to the needed amount of sugar in both of our chocolate dairies. just so that I can, to whichever degree I can, capitalize on at least some of it. I know I'll be selling some sugar and I know I'll be selling some milk, but hopefully I can just maintain a pretty steady chocolate flow until the end of this challenge. Okay, so after that, we are currently harvesting obviously wheat off of the most northern strip, the most upper strip, and I'm not going to set a prediction. Instead, I'm going to set a goal or a catch. Is that I don't think that makes sense. What I'm getting at is, if I can harvest 350,000 liters. First off, let me set a new GPS line. Why did I restart that point? I could have just shifted where we were. Okay, so new GPS line. I'm gonna fly over to not that menu, but look, see, you can see the eggs are just full and I've been moving them constantly, but either way, we are 350,000 liters short of 1 million. So if I can make 350,000 liters off of these 3 and a bit fields, I will no longer put wheat towards my chicken dome. Even in this episode, mind you, I might not have showed you every time I filled, or I might not have showed you any times I filled the chickens. I filled them twice alone, and it's roughly 15 to 20,000. Well, the cap is 18 because both of them can hold 9, but realistically, we're putting over 15,000 liters of wheat into each of the chicken domes every time they get low, and they do get low relatively fast. Don't get me wrong, obviously, in the grand scheme of things, if you are looking at the cost benefit from like wheat to eggs, it's great. It's definitely great. But we are not out here to make money. We are out here to complete a challenge. So, once again, if I am able to collect 350,000 liters off of these 3 and a bit fields, I will stop putting wheat towards my chicken fields, or my chicken pens rather, and I will then just start making the same decision I made with my pigs, and I will be buying chicken feed. Mind you, chicken feed from the store is just wheat, but that's what I will do. Man, I'm not even going to get back. Once again, I'm not really complaining outside of it being slightly inconvenient for Marty and I. But yeah, we are once again full. Huh. Okay, well, this makes me very hopeful to how this harvest is gonna go. Okay, let's back up and let's just try to get into a position where Marty won't cut across my fields, where Marty won't struggle. Oh, can I fit there? We're just gonna squeeze on by. If anything, I'll buy a new trailer. I got the funds for it. So yes, 350,000 liters, here we come. Hopefully we do not need to plant any more wheat, opening up potentially 1 or 2 more fields to plant some of the other things. We know we do need... Oh, I might have opened that too early. We know we do need... no. We know we need a few fields put aside for... let's stop, Marty. Marty, halt. Let's just go to him old school. But yes, we know we need some fields for our oats, and we know we need fields for our sunflowers. So if we can harvest enough wheat that we don't need to dedicate any more fields towards wheat, and we can just buy any more chicken feed at that point, that would be great. Additionally, we then need to find out how our corn harvest goes. I'm going to try to squeeze that into this episode. But at this point, I know I've covered several months, and I just don't want these episodes to be too long, obviously. But we will have to kind of just wait and see how things pan out for not just wheat but also corn. Okay, with Marty being full, he should be good to start back up and get on the road. Hopefully wheat and the relatively high yield of wheat doesn't cause any issues with Marty and how well he was working prior. But we're going to get straight to it. We're going to harvest these 3 and a bit fields. And once again, hopefully we can end at our 1 million liter goal for wheat. So sit back. Ooh, don't do it. Sit back. Enjoy. And I shall return after Marty gets back on the road. I'll be back. Okay, and once again, we are wrapping up harvesting our wheat. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, there are moments where I was not sure if I was going to get it. There are moments where I was sure I was going to get it. Back to ups and downs on whether or not I was going to achieve my 1 million wheat for my mission crop totals here. Now there is a small hint in the montage whether or not I reached my goals. So if you guys noticed it, put a shout out down in the chat. And if not, maybe go back to see if you can find it. One small little hint that made it all pretty clear. But yeah, so we are wrapping up the last little bit of wheat harvesting in our chicken dome. And I just have one small strip left. I hate doing it this way because sometimes it messes with my PDA in terms of my yield totals. This time it's working out pretty good, but sometimes it carries along a color that isn't accurate, I believe, to what we actually achieved. Okay, let's shut it down. And let's go over to Marty, who is still waiting over by his point by the southern, and I'm not paying attention, of course. And he's still waiting by his southern point on the lowest strip field. Enough chit-chatting, let's get to it. Let's flash forward into October and see if we can hit our corn goals by the end of this episode. Okay, we were lucky the first time around, but do you think we're lucky enough to strike twice? Unfortunately, no. Let me just line this up. I'm always overshooting that bin. Okay, there we go. So we are pretty well short. We currently have 841,000 liters of corn in our colony food storage area. And we need about 100 more after, 100 more, 120 more or so after Marty and I, because I'm not full yet either. But after we get sorted, okay, let's stop him. Let's send him just to dump over there. But yeah, at first I thought we were going to do well, but then once I finished that upper cube, I knew we were far enough behind that it would not... I really got to make a path straight here. Why did I do it that way? Ah, whatever. We're done. We're essentially done with this challenge. Something to think about though for our next series whenever that kicks off. Okay, so... Oh, he's gonna dust me too. Yeah. But yeah, so unfortunately we were not able to get it all done with corn this time around. But overall I'm still pretty happy. We got wheat, which was the bigger one, out of the way. Now how... I gotta go around. No I don't. I'll just do this. There we go. So yeah, I got the bigger of the two issues out of the way. Wheat is complete, and we won't be sending any more wheat outside of the excess 43,000 liters that we have over to the chickens or the seed factory. But yeah, outside of that, we should have enough fields to easily take care of all of the next set of harvest crops. So we are just going to continue forward. I'll most likely come on back in the month of, what month is that going to be? Where is my calendar? In the month of March, because we have oats, sunflowers, and then corn. Yeah, so I'll come back in March, I'll plant down those crops, and then I'll come back in April again, and we'll take care of seeding, planting, and then a harvest and double harvest in October of year 11, when, if all goes well, and that's a big if all goes well, we should be done this playthrough, done this challenge. So final numbers for corn, yeah, 113,000 liters off. Not too bad. Everyone's in the 800,000s, almost 900,000 for most of them, so, or for 2 of the 3 of them, so I'm pretty happy with it. But I'm going to leave it there. This video has been long enough. I want to thank you all for joining me along this challenge. If you have made it this far, like I used to say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I hope you're all having a great day. I'm Farmer Big Z, and I'll see you next episode.